going to be talking about nonfiction text structures. So something to know about nonfiction as a genre to read or write is that it's more than just being something that's true. Like, for example, biographies. Biographies are considered to be nonfiction because they're about a thing, a person, an event, etc. For example, if I were to write an autobiography, that's me writing the story about my life. So, however, nonfiction, we're going to dive deeper into nonfiction because there's different ways to classify nonfiction texts. For example, there's the top 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first one is probably the most popular and probably the most, I think, in my opinion, the most easiest to recognize. It's called description. So questions you want to be asking yourself when analyzing a description-based text is this describing something? Are we getting characteristics? Popular lingo or language you'll see in description category is for example or for instance. And another thing to know about description is you'll probably be getting a lot of traits about something. And here is a diagram. It's supposed to be like a web diagram. So we have our main center, our subject right here. And you see these other little blurbs, they're spewing out ideas about the main subject. So this would be supporting details to the main subject here. That's how you know it's a description text. Like, for example, a text about tornadoes. That will most likely be description because it's telling you what tornadoes do, where they come from, how one starts, etc. Our second nonfiction text structure is sequence. So thinking about the order of things. So a question you want to be asking yourself is this telling me the order of events? Like first, second, third place. That's like the basic kind of structure of it. However, you want to be aware of dates. Like for example, if you were to, let's think of something good. Like the timeline, like a timeline of like the American presidency. If you were to look at the timeline of the presidency itself, it would be sequence because saying this person, so George Washington was first, John Adams was second, Jefferson was third, and etc., etc. Popular lingo for sequence is before, after, finally, and dates. These are your key terms right here, and those are your indicators for sequence writing. First this happens, then after, then finally, lastly, etc. Our third nonfiction text structure is compare and contrast. So think of the good old-fashioned Venn diagram. We have in the left column subject X, in the right column subject Y, and that middle column are for similar qualities, are for qualities that both parties share. Like for example, if we were to do a Venn diagram of dogs and cats, you would say under the dog column, known for slobbering, known for man's best friend, and you guys can help me out with this one. Cats would be, they use a litter box, whereas dogs, most of them go outside to use the bathroom. Whereas similar qualities would be, okay, well, they both walk on 4 legs, they both, for the majority, have long tails, and they're both pets. In language, and the question you want to be asking yourself this is this explaining how things are alike or different? Compare and contrast. For example, if you were comparing and contrasting 2 presidents, George Washington versus Abraham Lincoln. So there is going to be a description element to each because you're going to be describing what George Washington was like and describing what was the other one I said? Jefferson was like. However, ultimately, we're figuring out which president did which. All right. And lingo that you want to be paying attention for this one is similar, both different, however. George Washington was the first president. However, Thomas Jefferson was the 3rd president. Compare and contrast. Problem and solution. Is this telling how a problem was solved? So we have a picture representation of a question mark, meaning, I have no idea what to do here. And the light bulb, meaning, I finally got it, I solved it. So language is solve, dilemma, and right out of the gate, problem and solution. The text is presenting perhaps maybe even a question or an inquiry, or kind of like a, ooh, how can this happen? And the solution is how it's solved in the end. Our last text structure for nonfiction is cause and effect. It is just explaining why something happened. The key thing to note here is the term why. Why something happened. For example, because, reason, result, since, and due. Excuse me, that's not an example, that is the language. But for example, my dog ate my homework is the cause. So I couldn't do it is the effect. I couldn't do my homework, which is the sad part. That's the effect. That's the thing that comes after. Because my dog ate my homework, that's the cause. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this demonstration, and Ozzy, come here. And a little bit of Ozzy at the beginning of the video. Come here. And we're hoping that we can teach you more things in the future. Bye.